So here's the poem Spailpín Fánach, and this is Ganalavel, ordinary level. And here's the few basic questions, bun hiskent, which they can ask you at the start. So these questions are in relation to the short questions to Spailpín Fánach. So Coddy in and Spailpín got margin. What does he do every morning? Bean shake shul, he walks, Aaron ver fluck on the wet grass. Kunasata plancha, what's his head like? Bean shake ting gominik, he's sick often. Colleague Glockishe, what does he take? Or what will he take? So Glockishe argued he'll take money on the croppies from the croppies. Louis got to mention two places in which the Spailpín was. So obviously he was in Visha in Nurlis, in Turles, obviously Cashel in Cashel. Cotterinche in Carricknashire, what did he do in Carricknashire? Winche on Fair, Hall and Shin, he cut the grass over there. Cotterinche in Gallen, what did he do in Callan? Rinche over Yeen, he did like the tough work. Cotta Clushinshe in Norris, what does he do in Turles? Clushinshe on Tanham, he hears the name Spailpín Fánach. Cotta Vir Shul at Gashel, what was happening in Cashel? So via Margaret Hirol er Shul, the higher market was happening. Kane fought knock Rocky Shay Guji Cashel Reach. Why will he not go back to Cashel again? Is Fualesh on Arch and he hates that place. Cod a Yelin Nabodre, what do the English do? Alright, so Fakin Shay and a Spailpín Aragopel, they look at the Spailpín on their horses. So the theme of this poem. So Feckwich sail Bronach and Spailpín. We see the sad life of the Spailpín. Now read the saucy in there when the English were in Ireland. We sailed Jacker Egg and Spailpín. The Spailpín had a difficult life. Near a long argued egg, he didn't have much money. August near Stupchi they go over and they never stopped working Gocklaw every day. Rinnishi over farming, they did farm work. Near Rachel the saucy August the Spailpín being Gumot Lakela. So the English and the Spailpíns, the Irish basically, they didn't get along well with each other. Fian Spailpín tin gummick, he was often sick. Vichy tin on Towerfall, they were sick all the time. Mar Vian Imshire Ufos because the weather was bad. Now here's a line that shows the weather was bad. He was like shoot on Druk to Gumok Margin, walking in the fog or the dew early in the morning and getting different diseases. It's like Bolo Galaraha. That is a quote. We see the two exclamation marks there, or two commas. That just basically means that's your quote. So we sail Ufos Egan Spailpín. So the Spailpín had a terrible life. Agus vi sé géirí trid, and he wanted to fight against the English, in I means against the saucy against the English. Hosig on Spailpín Sweeney, the Spailpín started to think, Agus captured, he thought go make hail nice far. He thought that his life would be better gone the saucy without the English. And that's the quote that shows he wants to glop fees or read the crops. He'd take the money from the croppies, but he was ready to clet his pick on Sachi. He was ready with his pitchfork to stab them. So Quern is saucing Farag Aaron Spailpín. The English annoyed the Spailpín. Rin on Spailpín shooting fodder. The Spailpín did long walks, got lot every day. August Vichy Turshik and they were tired. Coog Shegaji on Margaret Harald, he went to the higher market. August Vichy Spailpín Bron got shin, and the Spailpín was very sad there. How do you know he went to the higher market? It says in the poem, Bold during the tier Tiocht Ergopel, which means the English of this country were coming on their horses, asking him on William Heralta, asking him if he was hired or if he had a job. So here we're going to have a look at the Ivana, which is also the same as the Lean and Don. So what image do you see in the poem? So there's 34 lines in total, 3 verses, lines 1 to 8, 9, 16 and 17, 24. So the lines 1 to 8, the image or what the lines mean in the poem. So Tá Farag and Spailpín, the Spailpín is angry. Níl sail Asker a bit again, he doesn't have an easy life. Jane she over Teven way, he does the work outside. August we say Goni tin and he was always sick. Like shoot on drugs, mucker margin is like Balu Galaraha. So walking the dew or the fog early in the morning, getting different diseases. Tan Spailpín saw in the first lines 1 to 8, he's happy to tridge to fight against the English. Let Clet is pick on Sacha with his pitchfork ready to Sacha, ready to stab. Tan Neuer Aaron Spailpín Sakade versa. The Spailpín is embarrassed in the first verse because he is booked, because he's poor. Lean to and need to shade 9 to 16. Second verse, the image we get here is Feckwich on Spailpín. We see the Spailpín travelling a tastel across the country, a glorg Ibra looking for work. Rinnishi Uber, he did work in a few areas, a couple counter, Kasula Clumala, Clonmel, Tipperary, Tipperary, August Durlis, and Turles. Rinnishi Uber farmer, he did farm work. Via over Jacker, the work was difficult. Vishay Brodul Osfain, but he was proud of it, or proud of himself as well. Vishay Ave on Din is far less number. He wants to be the best person at work. And we know this because it says when I went to Callan Goodaloo is my hoosh and Glock I had my basically my spade or my shovel in my hand, and I want to be ag dul chun tosaí céirle. I want to be at the start or the front or the forefront of my trade. Céir is for trade. Línta seachtaigh to fithe Cars Lines 1724. This is the third verse, the image we get. So feicimid on Spailpín. We see the Spailpín ag marga hera at the higher market. Is foolish, I'm not sure. He hates his place because tá noir he's embarrassed. Nor a hain when he goes there. Níl ein vas ag na sosni the English have no respect for him. Talking to sosni goppel, the English come on their horse, ag vacant and nurse looking down on him. Bouldering interior ag tiach goppel, so the English this country basically coming on the horse, asking if he was hired. So voig on Spailpín, Bronach, he felt sad subverse shot, he felt sad in this verse. Gone hours, without doubt, the sail crew ag and Spailpín, the Spailpín had a tough or cruel life. The feeling, Mohukan. Okay, it's a brown amulkan is large as don show. So sadness is the strongest feeling in this poem. Ton don shut brown. This poem is sad or being on Spailpín tin because the Spailpín is sick often. August danger ober nor aveen she a kerbosh and he does work when it is raining. Like shooting through to mucker margin like bolu galara. So basically walking in the dew or the fog early in the morning and getting different diseases. Ton don shut brown fresh, and this poem is sad as well. Maar ta is against Spailpín, because the Spailpín knows will she booked, he's poor, gone arrogant, without money. Is foolish on Tanum Spailpín fresh. He hates the name or the term Spailpín as well. We see feicimid gurbe brown on tame is large. We see that sadness is the strongest theme. Maar iron she farga because he gets angry. Ega marga herald at the higher market. Ní stopping the sosni excradi on Tanum ufosik shin. The English never stop screaming this awful name. Ogs is foolish shin, and he hates this. And what line shows he hates that name? He says, "Is Gabrakarish ni glau from Adam satir shot on Spailpín Fánach. Never again call me this name in this country." The term Spailpín Fánach. So Ton Don shut brown fresh, and this poem is also quite sad. Mar Kylan Spailpín Gockrod free love it in the sosling because he lost everything under the hands or the control of the English. Freshen as well. Tain on Spailpín in Tastel Timple and He travels across the country like Jane of Ober farmer doing farm work. Courage short, this makes him obviously brown. Keep referring back to the word brown because that's your mohukan, that's your feeling, the title. So this makes the Spailpín feel sad. August Isagun, and we know not will mass ag ein dinado, and that nobody has respect for him. Vi fargum ag lave on Donsha Erdus. I was angry reading this poem at the start. Erdus. Vi she Bronach, it was sad. There being Spailpín, Kasul, the Hamadon. So it was sad when the Spailpín was looking like an idiot or an idiot, where latte straja, which is a quote, on the side of a street. Freshen as well. Tashe Kur at Lanche and well, he's putting his health in danger. How do we know? Exhaustive air Lanche, basically standing on or rooting or affecting my health. So erno none overall is a brown. Brown is kianda. Kianda means one of the feelings, strongest feelings. The Mohukan is lost don't show gone ein hours of bit without any doubt at all. Vuskel on Don show browner. This poem made me feel sad because that's sadness is your feeling. They need to give reasons why you like the poem and reasons why you didn't like the poem. So Hatton on Don Shutla. Did you like this poem? Hatton on Don Shutla. I like this poem. Hug on Don Shut Eva Intatu. It gave us a great image to hail crew on Spailpín of the tough life of the Spailpín. Vishay Jacker Ega. Visail Jacker Ega Immoharm Fane. He had a tough life in my opinion. Ton Don Shut Rayliok. This poem is realistic. August Hatton Shin good morning, and I really like this. Ta Isago, I know, will she Bronach Eganom Kane. So I know that this poem, it is sad, but at the same time, Eganom Kane, ta on Athnaguin Aaron Preve character, we get to know very well the main character. Via Hail Ufosok, his life was terrible. August Visha Turshk on Tomar fought, and he was tired most of the time, all the time. It's Motlam Non Show. I like this poem because Rinishan Ober Gobrodul, he did his work with pride. And he says, Dul Contosi Carlo, he wants to be at the start of his trade. Is Motnum Nahach and Iconic I like the places he saw. Marhampla, for example, Clungalmala, Clomel, August Cashel, Citrio verse in the third verse. Aaron Omnon, overall, Don, Intak a time, it's a great poem. Cain fought Narhat and Don last. Why did you not like this poem? So Nirhat and Don Shalom, I didn't like this poem. Vishay Jacker Dum and Don Shalom, it was difficult for me to read this poem. Oh, who's there from the start to the end? Bhí trúgam don Spailpín, I felt sorry for the Spailpín, and with air out in the air, ag ober working, fádas a bhí sé while it was fluch agus for while it was wet and cold. And here's a quote, ag siúl drogta gomuk margin. Freshen, near Hatton and Donchilum, I didn't like this poem. Bhí me bugnach ag queen, I was almost crying near cunnig me an Spailpín when I saw the Spailpín going from ag dul ó áit go háit. Rinne sé an tastal fála seo, he did his long trip, go minic often, agus cuairsim nor air, and it made him feel embarrassed. How do you know he did this trip often? He says in the poem, but Vinnic Mochriel often was my trip. Fuier, finally, near Hatton and Donchilum, I didn't like this poem, mar, because caught in a sosny, go donna lesh on Tom Fod, because the English treated him badly the whole time. Tainum Conchu, which the English say to him at the end, keep walking, Lanaroig, in other words, keep going, Tom Cursa Fada, you've a long road ahead for you. Aaron Omlon, Don Intakatail, it's a great poem. Ach, near Hatton Shalom, I didn't like it because it was a little bit brownach, it was a little bit sad. And that's your questions for Spailpín Fánach, ordinary level, leaving cert.